All right, Oregon versus Oregon State. I think on paper, this game sounds like it's going to be close. But for me, and I also saw somebody. It's kind of like a narrative going on right now on Twitter. How is this a 13.5 point line for Oregon over Oregon State? I tell you why. Because Oregon State beat them last year. And I'm telling you right now, Oregon, with their season on the line, is probably pissed off and looking for revenge. That to me is why I think that this game could be lopsided.
Joe, I'm so worried about Oregon overlooking Oregon State. I don't think Dan Lanning is the coach that would do that, but they know how tight this race is right now, and they need a little magic with Washington faltering, or they need to beat Washington in the Pac-12 championship game. There's so much going on right now that there's somebody in that building that's looking towards Washington right now. They shouldn't, because Oregon State's a team that no matter what their record is going to try to punch you right in the dick. That's what they're going to do, and they like doing that. They're a team that wants to take your season from you. They're a team that wants to hit you hard, and I respect the hell out of Oregon State for it. Oregon, vastly more talented, and they should win the game by 14 points. Vegas is not wrong with the should, but the would and the why is where they're going to mess up on this line. I think Oregon State covers that 13.5. I know we're not betting, but it's a pretty good analysis to build off of with that Vegas line. Oregon State does not play for the spreads. They do not care about the spreads. And Oregon better not be looking forward to Washington next week. They just can't. They need to focus every ounce of energy they can against Oregon State, because that's what Oregon State's doing.
That's a good point. I think that if this thing is close, it is because Oregon is overlooking Oregon State. It's very possible. Right now, they're reading every single headline.
How could they
Bo
not?
Nix Heisman, Pac-12 championship.
There's a chance for the playoff. There's opportunity for them to keep their season going, and they know, what are they, ranked 6? I think they're ranked 6 right now.
Yeah, I believe that they came in at 6.
If I'm Oregon,
so they're the highest ranked. They're the highest ranked one-loss team currently.
And I'm not even on the Oregon head coach. I'm not Lanning, but if I'm an Oregon guy, I'm sitting here like, all right, we're 6. Florida State just lost their quarterback. We play Washington again. That's what my focus is. That's just where my natural state of get to the playoff, get to championship goes. And I didn't mention Oregon State. We have to play them this week, but I didn't mention it. We just go out, handle business, just win the game. And they might win. They'll win the game. They'll win the game by 7. They'll win the game by 10.
I think it's going to be a little more lopsided than that. I think that if Oregon's locked
I'm not
in,
locking in that they will, but it very well could be. This is right up in the air for that cover or not. It's a true jump ball. I'm staying away for it betting wise.
Oh, I wouldn't touch this thing. One thing that is kind of fun that I'm paying attention to. So Mateo Uiagalelei is the younger brother of DJ Uiagalelei. He is a defensive end for Oregon. He's been getting a little bit more playing time as the end of the season. True freshman, very talented recruit. Got a sack last week against Washington State, and I think I might have been in garbage time. I think it's kind of fun to look at this and that possibility that Mateo could completely blow up his brother. I need to see it.
DJ gets the stiff arm or the evasion. Older brothers just have that. They just have that on the younger brother.
That's a good point.
I really don't. I think if it is a one-on-one, DJ gets out of it. And I'm not trying to write this.
I agree with that.
I think he does.
That's a really good point. I also my wishful thinking here, I just want to see Mateo blow him up. I think that would be so funny if he just comes screaming off the edge, unblocked, someone messes up or something like that. He's got his back turned. He just completely blows him up.
I wish I could be more into it, Joe. I wish I could, but the Kelseys have made me not, they've annoyed me to about the brother thing. And I always liked Jason Kelce. And I was never out on Travis Kelce. But the media has crushed it into the ground. So the brother shtick, I'm out on.
This is why I think it's more entertaining, because normally brothers are, they're both physically built the same, typically come from the same athletic genes. They usually play some iteration of the same position. You get
and how come your
guys that play defensive end.
You weren't?
Because I didn't start playing hockey very early. I didn't start playing as early as he did. My point is that it's usually defensive ends or defensive linemen. It's usually they're both tight ends or one's an offensive lineman, just like you talked about there with the Kelce brother. The only other one I can think of is the Sewell brothers, where Noah Sewell was a linebacker and Penei Sewell was a tackle, but they were on the same team.
Yeah.
So we have an opportunity here.
Santana and
I
Sonoris
can't.
were both wide receivers.
I can't. Oh, I guess the one good one that we have is Trevon and Stephon Diggs. That's probably the best one. But they're
What
not
about
really
the
hitting each other,
Edmonds? The
man.
Edmonds linebacker, running back, safety.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think that this is like a real
No,
where one can
there's a lot of
smoke
good
the
shtick
other.
potential. I think no context and sickos are going to be all over it.
Yeah.
This is something that they're going to be covering heavily. I think it's way more exciting if Oregon wins this game with style points. I think it's super exciting if they win it definitively because
Yeah.
Oregon State has the respect. Nobody is saying they're not a good team. And if Oregon can win like I don't know 40-13, holy hell, do we have a race? Do we have some decisions to make on who to let in? And it makes the
It's a
Pac-12
very good
championship
point.
way better. So if I have a rooting interest, obviously watching Oregon State in the last year of the Pac-12 beat Oregon, who's leaving for the Big Ten, like that would be uber satisfying. But for this season specifically, way more interesting if Oregon blows them out because of the fallout that will take place next week.